Hey, Waffle Gang! I do hope you're well. My name is Bark. Bark? Where did that come from? I'll let you have that blooper. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Now, today's first story comes from a throwaway account. Compose yourself, Mark. And it's titled, My 24 Female Boyfriend 26 Male Has a Long-Time Female Friend Who's Clearly Into Him. And I don't know what I should do. This is going to sound like typical insecure girlfriend, but I promise you, it's not like that. My boyfriend and I have been together for over 6 months, and he's really great. He has a friend that he's had for years who is a girl. Normally, I'm not the type to be all like, you're not allowed to hang out with a single girl alone. But I'm considering telling my boyfriend that he's not allowed to hang out with this girl alone. This girl is obviously so into him, and she definitely wants me to know she's coming for him. She keeps saying stuff like, you don't know him like I do yet. We used to go to that place together all the time, long before you guys started dating. Oh my god, Josh, remember when we went on a hike, just the two of us? That was the best day. She also had cute pet names for him, but I didn't like that, so as soon as I heard it, I told my boyfriend I didn't like it, and he made her stop. I asked her straight up if she's into him, and her response pissed me off so much. She was like, I know it's intimidating how close he and I are, but don't worry, you're the girlfriend and I'm just a friend, right? With a smug smile on her face. I got so mad, but I couldn't talk to my boyfriend about it. I want to tell him to cut her out of his life so bad, but I don't know if I can do that. My boyfriend's dad passed away 2 years ago with a heart condition. He told me that his dad was his best friend growing up, so it hit him really hard. It was the only family my boyfriend had. Apparently this girl really helped him get through it. She apparently was there for him throughout the whole thing. That's why he says she's like a sister to him. That's why I don't know what to do. I already asked him to set some boundaries, like she can't text late at night or come over to his place unannounced all the time, and no interrupting our alone time. My boyfriend doesn't realize that she's into him. I kinda don't blame him on that one, because all of her flirts are subtle enough that he doesn't realize, but enough to get me riled up. I know my boyfriend isn't into her at all, and he's completely friend-zoned her, but it's still so frustrating. I hate to admit it, but she's so good at getting under my skin, and I don't know what to do. I really need some advice. Thanks, Reddit. Edit, thanks to everyone for the advice. I decided that I will tell my boyfriend everything she's done so far and see how he handles it. To be honest, I'd hoping I'd avoid telling my boyfriend about it, but she left me no choice. In the meantime, I don't know how I'll bring it up to my boyfriend, but I'll figure it out. And I think in my point of view, when we cover stories like this, I think you just have to bring it up with him. Otherwise, what's the alternative? That these games in the background keep going on, and it's going to damage your relationship eventually. And that's possibly what she wants, but I don't know. But Cherry One says, maybe you could have a talk with him about how she's acting and tell him that you don't want to break up their friendship, but that you would really feel loved if he would make it extra clear that he prefers you. Maybe also explain that you don't like to be alone with her because she seems to want you to feel weird, and ask for his help with that. However, I recommend that you don't dictate exactly how he acts, but rather bring it up and then sit back for a few weeks and see how he handles it. Give him time to observe the situation with new eyes. I think treating him with trust will be better for your relationship, since he hasn't done anything to make you question his loyalty. Destroyer of Annoyance says, I specifically want to address this absolute third tier worthless advice I keep seeing in the comments. If she's at a social event, just don't go. No, what the fuck is that? You shouldn't be forced into feeling so uncomfortable to the point where your contact with your boyfriend and his normal behaving friends is limited because she's an asshole. Everyone who honestly puts their whole heart into a relationship deserves, at minimum, to go out in public with their SO and not feel lowly and bad about themselves over it. Seriously, people in the comments saying this, get your self-esteem up. OP, you've got to tell him everything she's done. As awkward as it feels, saying it, you need to just spit it out. You're going to come off as the bad guy if you keep pushing the boundaries without explanation. The stress this has been causing when you see this beat and the weight it must have on your chest. You're going to feel so relieved to just say it at least. Throwaway says, my boyfriend has a female friend he's known way longer than he's known me. And he also says he considers her a sister. The big difference though is that she doesn't call him pet names, bring up how much more she knows about him, and doesn't try to undermine our relationship. Boys can be clueless sometimes, and it seems like you need to trust your gut here. Don't look at it as I'm not allowing you to talk to her. Just tell him your feelings and how you don't think she's respecting your relationship. Let him decide how to proceed. If he changes nothing and lets her keep doing stuff like that, then that's very telling. Len says, this is really petty advice. Don't do it if you're a good person. If she's into him, then it's probably really bothering her to see him with another girl, so play it up. Have your hands on him. Sit really close to him. Drape her leg, nibble an ear, whisper dirty things to him. Use your girlfriend privileges in front of her and make it pretty obvious when you two leave together, you're gonna bang it out. Rub her nose in it. If she's into him, that'll hurt. If she's not, then no harm, no foul for being extra flirty with your boyfriend. Remember, you've already won. You are the girlfriend, she is not. OP replies saying, I normally wouldn't do this, but she's honestly pissed me off so much that I kinda already started doing this a little bit. I did it the last time we were all hanging out, the second she started reminiscing about stuff they did together, like she usually does when I'm around. I turned up the public displays of affection with him. Sadly, I couldn't see the look on her face because she had a mask on. And one more comment from Knitting Fairy who says, my way of handling something with similarities was to say, I don't want to control his friendships and wasn't asking him to stop talking to her. Then went on to say I was underwhelmed due to X, Y, and Z behaviors. As you've already made some requests and he seems to have accommodated them, I would wait for a little while though. Not to say your feelings aren't valid, but give it a little more time to see how things go and try to avoid group hangouts. Some people are really that oblivious, so I think it's plausible he may really not see it. If he does see it, he may be ignoring it in the hopes she gets over it because he doesn't want to lose her friendship. BTDT myself, considering the history. So we have a couple of updates on this post. The first one says, after reading the comments, I decided just to bring it up with him without telling him what I want him to do, to avoid sounding controlling. I sat him down and told him that some of the stuff that she says really makes me uncomfortable. I told him that I feel like she's undermining our relationship. I gave him a few examples of the stuff she said and done that I didn't appreciate. He still doesn't think she's into him. He's convinced that she's acting this way because she probably feels like they're drifting apart as friends because he's in a serious relationship now. Which frustrated me a little bit, to be honest, because it's clear to me that she wants him but being subtle about it. He said that regardless of her intentions, if her actions are making me uncomfortable, he'll have a talk with her about it. I was really happy he said that because I was really nervous and anxious to see how he'll react. I was afraid he'll take her side. He can be a dummy sometimes, so I was worried that he'd bring it up with her in the wrong way, like saying, my girlfriend doesn't want us talking anymore, and saying stuff like that, but he nailed it. He told her in a text, dude, I noticed some of the stuff you've been saying in front of my girlfriend lately, and I've been wanting to talk to you about it. It's mad disrespectful and uncomfortable. We're cool, but just stop that shit. Naturally, she acted all innocent and confused. She was like, what? You know I'd never do anything that would upset you. I think you're misunderstanding, and stuff like that. He doubled down on it though. I could tell he felt somewhat guilty telling her off like that, and I don't know if he's convinced that she has tried to undermine our relationship or not, but I'm so glad that he had my back in this. I'm honestly kind of glad this whole thing happened. It gave me a better idea of what kind of man he really is. He even said he'd stop hanging out with her alone if it makes me feel uncomfortable. He was also low-key mad at me for waiting this long to tell him I was uncomfortable around her. Safe to say that the best possible outcome happened. He really put her in her place, and not gonna lie, it made me feel real good. All I could think of was, I won, lol. Thanks to everyone for encouraging me to tell him, because even though I knew that's what I should have done, I was still scared to do it for some reason. I even thought about potentially just avoiding her for good, which sounds ridiculous now that I think about it, because I shouldn't have to hide from her. I guess I'm just not good at confrontations. Thanks for the helpful advice, everyone. And we're going to jump straight into the next post, which OP added. So OP added another post titled, My 24 female boyfriend's 26 male longtime female friend has been spreading lies about me and talking crap behind my back. About 10 days ago, I asked my boyfriend to set some boundaries with his longtime female friend because some of the stuff she's been saying to me were making me uncomfortable. He told her that he noticed some of the stuff she's been saying in front of me lately and that he thinks it's disrespectful towards a relationship, which makes it disrespectful towards him. She didn't take it very well. She kept texting him. She's making you do that, isn't she? This doesn't sound like it's coming from you. She's trying to control you. Are you really okay with that? I didn't think you'd be one of those pathetic guys who lets their girlfriends boss them around. My boyfriend told her that it's coming from him and that he doesn't want anything to jeopardize our relationship and that he thinks she was being a little disrespectful. She got all mad and was like, okay, fine, pick some random slut you barely know over me who's been there for you whenever you needed someone, and proceeded to block him. My boyfriend was shook, mostly because he didn't even say anything that bad to her. He didn't tell her he can't be friends or anything like that. All he said was, I noticed some of the things you've been saying in front of my girlfriend lately. It's really disrespectful and I wish you'd stop. That's literally all he said to her, and she went crazy because of it. After she blocked him, she went on to tell all of his friends that I'm an insecure girlfriend who doesn't want him to have any friends but me. She turned all of his friends against me, even his guy friends. One of his best friends, a guy he's known his entire life, told him, dude, you're really gonna ditch your friend who's been there for you for some crazy jealous girl you barely know. That really hurt me because I thought I was becoming friends with them, but now they think I'm the worst. They even stopped coming over for a while. My boyfriend has been telling them that's all a load of BS, but they're not believing him. Mostly because he and that girl used to be so close, so they all believed her when she said that I changed him. They think I'm somehow fooling him and controlling him or something, which is absolutely ridiculous. A few days after that, she FaceTimed him at 1 AM crying and telling him how sorry she is and that she was just upset because she felt she was losing her best friend. She kept crying and saying that she didn't mean any of it and that she was just threatened by the thought that he doesn't care about her anymore. She acted all innocent and hurt and said that she'd apologize to me if that's what I need, but that she doesn't think she's been doing anything wrong. My boyfriend, who likes to think the best of people, even when they don't deserve it, bought it. He thinks she's actually sorry even though I can tell she just wants him back. She told him she'd let everyone know she was wrong about me and that she'd never knowingly disrespect our relationship. She even told him she'd love to be best friends with me. She never even talked to me since then, let alone apologize to me like she said she would. My boyfriend thinks she's going to be good now and that she's a good person at heart. I already know she's doing this to make me look like a shitty controlling girlfriend so everyone will back her. Even though I never ever told him what to do. All I did was tell him that I was uncomfortable with some of the stuff she said. I really don't know what to do with this girl. What's the best way for me to handle the situation? I really need advice again. And OP had one more little update for us, which was recovered from Reddit, which says, my boyfriend finally cut her out of his life completely. A few days after she apologized for everything she's been saying about my boyfriend and I, she contacted me saying she wants us to start over, that she has no idea why things got so weird between us. She said she thinks we can be friends. I tried to be polite and told her that we can just start over. I wasn't too excited about it because I know she hates my guts. She hates the fact that she's not in the girlfriend space with my boyfriend anymore. I figured I'd give the whole friendship thing with her a try for my boyfriend's sake. At first I thought it was going okay. She wasn't being weird towards my boyfriend anymore and she stopped all the subtle flirting. Until one day last week my boyfriend told me that we can't be friends with her anymore. I was shocked since he's the one that insisted I give her a second chance and that she learned from her mistakes. Apparently she's been acting friendly towards me but was talking shit behind my back. All this time she's been telling his friends how awful and controlling I am. She even told his brother that I have a sugar daddy on the side, which is BS. He confronted her and she tried to cry and apologize herself out of it again. She even tried to hook up with him. My boyfriend finally realized that she's full of shit and cut her off. He told me that I was right all along and that she's not a good friend to him anymore. He couldn't believe he didn't see it sooner. Anyway, she's finally out of our lives. I still think my boyfriend shouldn't have given her a second chance after all the shit she did, but I guess he owed her that much since they were friends for a long time. Regardless, I'm glad it's over. And now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? If you was OP, what would you have done? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below and let's move on to another story. This story is from Wise Bobcat 75 who says, am I the arsehole for telling my friend that her success is built on handouts and she doesn't get to make comments on other people? I, female 32, have a friend who we'll call Ellie, female 32. I've known Ellie since we were around 7 and our mothers are good friends. Ellie has had a very very privileged life. Her dad is a lawyer and her mum is a dentist, so as you can imagine, Ellie had a lot more luxuries and opportunities than your average person. She grew up going to private schools, having private tutors, going on fancy vacations every year, etc. I won't go into too much detail, but I definitely didn't have a life that was anything like Ellie's. Ellie never had to get a job until she went into residency in medical school when she was 26. When we finished high school at 18, Ellie initially went to business school for 2 years before dropping out, then pursuing medical school. Her parents paid all of her tuition and all of her living expenses, so Ellie never struggled financially and never had to worry about money. Plus, her mother got Ellie volunteering opportunities so she could get references on her medical school applications. Ellie is now a qualified pediatrician. I'm glad she was able to find a career path she enjoys, and I'm proud of her for finishing school. I know medical school is no walk in the park. I myself am a veterinarian. A few weeks ago, we went to a town event and we bumped into some of my old friends from high school. We chatted for a few minutes and one of them proudly mentioned she finished nursing school. When we went to my house after the event, Ellie made a very rude comment about my old friend, saying that I bet she was just too dumb to go to medical school, and went on about how great she is. I told Ellie that what she said was rude and uncalled for. Ellie said it was the truth. I snapped and told Ellie, "You only became a doctor by getting handouts. You don't get to make comments about other people." Ellie started yelling at me and telling me that I'm a jerk for undermining her hard work and that she still had to work for where she is now. I told her that I know she still had to work hard, but most people don't have parents who can pay all their tuition and living expenses, and she had it easier. Ellie called me a jerk again and said I'm ignorant and that she still had to work hard. And we'll start off with Green Red Crescent, who says, "Not the arsehole. There are plenty of people who are intelligent enough for medical school but can only dream of becoming doctors due to the classist barriers in place. A lot of medical schools have rules against students having jobs during their studies." Ellie sounds naive and sheltered. Her comment was extremely rude and unnecessary. Nurses are literally essential for medical establishments to function. If she keeps this attitude up at work, she's not going to have very many friends. Unfortunately, when it comes to higher education, intelligence and hard work frequently aren't enough, so her comment isn't even true. Tropical Diver says, "Everyone sucks here except the friend who finished nursing school." I will start with Ellie. There are many reasons why someone might choose nursing school over medical school. They might want the hands-on direct care. They might not want to go to the school that long. They might have been touched by a nurse in their life. They might be wicked smart, but not in the same ways that medical school admissions call for. And then there are many advantages she had. Everything from role models to cheerleaders, to not having to work even in undergrad, to not needing to earn an income, to tutors, to potentially her having more flexibility about where she could attend school, funding, etc. Ellie accomplished something very hard, even with help. So did you. So did your friend. What bothers me the most about Ellie is her need to diminish others to elevate herself. I suspect there is a great deal of insecurity there. Now, why you? She didn't only become a doctor by getting handouts. She did have to and did a ton of work. Give her due. That said, you might have said something like, "Ellie, I'm very proud of what all of us have accomplished, you, me and our friend. Not all of us started our journey on equal footing. You have lots of advantages in your life that our friend never had, and it bothers me that you are diminishing her hard work and her accomplishments. I'm sure it isn't anything you're aware of. We all grow up how we grow up. That said, it is worth thinking how much harder your journey to doctor would have been without some of those advantages." United Ad says, "Not the arsehole. Anyone who insults nurses is the biggest you're the arsehole. My career was in health IT, and I saw firsthand that nurses are the beating hearts of the medical system, and any doctor who hasn't learned that yet is in for a rude awakening. OP may have had a tiny you're the arsehole because I suspect she took her frustration out on her friend for her fortunate circumstances, but I can't ignore anyone for disparaging the nurses." And one more from Counting Pickles, who says, "Everyone sucks here. Ellie shouldn't have demeaned her nursing friends for their achievements. That's a dick move. Nurses are just as important as doctors and get far less credit for it. You don't see doctors wiping backsides, holding patients' hands, or comforting families for long stretches. She has an ego which perpetuates the cycle of doctors versus nurses. But Ellie has worked hard to get where she is. Despite being given handouts, she still had to study, take exams, and suffer through residency to get where she is today. She has earned it through hard work. Ellie definitely needs a reality check, but you can't demean her achievements because of her family socio-economic status. Now, I'm going to turn it to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? It was either people going down a not the arsehole route or everyone sucks here because OP was demeaning Ellie at the same time. What are your thoughts on that one? Let us know down in the comments below. Now, as always, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support, and time has absolutely always means the world to me. So thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today